Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to showcase about virtual reality as a whole. So let me introduce myself first. I am Tanvir Hossain Khan. I work as a CEO in my company called Dreamers Lab. We have been working for last 5 years with augmented reality and virtual reality and mobile game solutions. So today, I would like to cover, based on Bangladesh context, uh, basically, most of the people in Bangladesh, they think like a virtual reality is a entertainment tool only. It's for only gaming or like entertainment stuffs. But is it really? Or just it is even more? It's more than entertainment. It can be work as a business tool as well for enterprise solutions. So, so before that, I would like to take you all to the evolution of virtual reality when we first started the research about virtual reality and everything. And, and again, my presentation the target audience for my presentation are those who are trying to learn about virtual reality and the people who are trying to take virtual reality for their business solutions or something like that. So let's move on. So first, let's just check out the evolution of virtual reality. Any idea here since when we started the virtual reality technology? Any idea in the audience? Sorry? 1968, okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, so basically the virtual reality, the concept virtual reality arises back in 1920s, but the this was the first major milestone for virtual reality. It's called Sensorama back in 1957. It was used for like movie, a 3D movie. The concept was a 3D movie, and then after that, this one is called the Sword of Damocles. This is the first ever HMD device for virtual reality, the one you call like the person, right? So it's in 1968, and after that, this one is for like simulation, flight simulation purpose. This is the first ever flight simulator VR headset that called the Super Cockpit back in 1970s to 80s. After that, for gaming, Sega introduced back in 1990s the Genesis for VR gaming. So these were all the major milestones, but they were not commercially succeed. So after that, in 2012, the first ever commercial breakthrough for virtual reality, that is called Oculus Rift, we know all about today. This one is the first commercial successful virtual reality HMD. So after that, Google went for like Google Cardboard in order to make it available for everyone, which was very affordable. That is in 2014. So after that, Samsung introduced Samsung Gear VR back in 2015. So they wanted to make it much more realistic and have some fun with gaming and watching movies and playing 360-degree videos. So after that, 2016, there was a major milestone in VR industry that was introduced in HTC Vive, where you can easily walk around with the sensors tracking your body and everything. It was used and introduced. The purpose of this one is for both gaming and for business application. So, and late 2016, the first ever console VR device, that is for PS4, PSVR, we know. So this was the first and the only commercially successful console VR headset right now. And after that, 2018, we saw a few VR headsets that was introduced by Windows, mixed reality headsets, we know. That was came by Dell, Lenovo, and Asus, uh, Acer, etc. So, so these were all like the first generation VR devices. After that, we is still in first generation VR devices, but there was some limitation in previous devices that was required PC or any sort of mobile. So there was a research going on how to make it more feasible for consumer end to make it standalone. So later on, different companies like HTC Vive, Oculus, then Pico came in the picture with the standalone VR devices as well as Lenovo, as you can see. So these were all standalone VR devices that does not require any PC or any mobile devices. So nowadays there are other VR devices as well, like HTC Vive Pro, HTC Vive Cosmos, and Rift S, Oculus, Valve Index, Pimax 4K, Pimax 8K. So these are all PC-based VR devices, and most of them are used for both gaming and for business applications as well. So let's go and check out some example for virtual reality for entertainment purpose, what we have been seeing so far. Uh, we have a like Netflix VR app with which a person can have the VR experience with Netflix, and it is available in different VR headsets like Google Daydream, then HTC Vive, then Oculus Go, Quest, and there are other VR applications like Skybox where you can have the movie theater experience that is the movie that is available in your local PC or laptop. And you can have that experience with the app that you are actually in the theater, not in the watching any flat screen. So for music and dance games, there are like Beat Saber, popular games like Beat Saber, we all know, and like Dance Central games. How many guys do you guys play Beat Saber games here? Fantastic. And do you guys like it? Okay. What was the high score? Sorry? Full combo. Okay. Anyone plays the Dance Central? Anyone? You should try. Anyone here who dance, like in university program, festival, something like that? For dance lover, this is like one of the best game available in market for VR. And if we look at the action games, they're like Super Hot and like Arizona Sunshine. And this one, the bottom two is like first ever AAA quality VR game that was introduced by Oculus Rift. That is called Asgard Wrath on the bottom left, and the right one yet to come, coming soon, that is called Half-Life Alyx. Anyone played Half-Life over here? Half-Life fan? No one played Half-Life, but only 3. It was one of the best game in PC. So these are the most famous games that is available in VR right now. So Arizona Sunshine was basically a console-based PS4 game, and the other 3 available for PC VR. So let's look at like virtual reality for enterprise tech. Any idea, or do you guys use any or seen any enterprise-based application with virtual reality? Anyone? That is using in business for like training or education or like edutech or marketing sales. Anyone? Which one did you saw? A BMW showroom. We'll get to that later. So there are some solutions you will find in like different store in a VR store, as well as like in any business, corporate business office. From the left, there is a solution called firefighting VR, with which large corporate company train their employees how to avoid and take precautions when there is a fire alarm. And the right one, there is an industrial training-based VR application where the employees are trained through VR how to use the tools and technology, the gadgets and everything. So in educational technology, VR is widely used for like space, like science, and the medical sector. There are like anatomy VR as well. And for marketing and sales, there are like two major industry that are used in VR. One is real estate industry, and another one is for automobile industry. From the left, there's the example in real estate industry, and on the right, that was developed by us for Executive Motors that imports BMW in Bangladesh. So that was the first ever marketing sales the VR app here in Bangladesh that was developed by us. We are showcasing this one in our stall. So those who are interested can come over our stall and experience it hands-on. So as you can see that by 2020, where the 2019 is almost up, by 2020, so there are like 40.1 billion market size in virtual reality. And in that 40.1 million, 22.2 billion will be based on gaming, and like the rest will be for business application. So as you can see, they are very close. So virtual reality technology is not used only for game, but also using for business application worldwide. And there's a huge growth over last 3 years, especially 2017 to 2019. There are some huge growth over in virtual reality, both in terms of gaming and both in terms of business application. The global market revenue of virtual reality will constantly grow at 54.84% from 2018 to 2023. So that is huge. So do anyone here works with virtual reality games or application? Anyone here working? Okay. Anyone? As a developer or like artist or something like that? Or like want to? Like you guys, you don't work, but you are actually interested to work in VR. Okay. May I know your name? Yeah? Ridoy Hasan. So are you interested in working in virtual reality? So for like game development or like app development? App development. So have you ever tried or something like that? Okay. So any kind of confusion how to start, because my presentation will be based on, as I mentioned earlier, for two kinds of people, three kinds of people basically. One who is already working, another one is like interested but yet to work, and thirdly, the business owner or like any company representative that is interested in VR application. So I'm asking you, like, are you facing any confusion or difficulties that how to start?
So far, it's fine in the conference. I find it really helpful, and it's not confusing, especially your part. It's quite clear to me. So let's see how far I can go.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad I can help. So if you guys have any sort of like question, and I would like to give you the answer in terms of development, how to start, or which VR device you should choose, feel free. Yes.
Or it's better to start with the courses or something like that.
As you see, there are a lot of online resources. The main problem is the VR device, the hardware. So right now, the mobile VR devices that was introduced, like mostly for like Google Cardboard or like Samsung Gear VR, those are obsolete at the moment. So that is really unfortunate, because those were like very affordable and cheap in market. But at the moment, I would suggest you to go with Oculus Go, that is 199. With that is, I think, very affordable, and like you will have a very good go if you start with Oculus Go. And after that, you can use the other VR device and HTC Vive or something like that. And if you need any kind of assistance, or like if you want to learn, feel free to come over in my office, where you can easily use our device for your learning.
Thanks so much. And for the software development, is it only Unity, or I can use something else?
It depends. You can use Unity 3D, you can use Unreal Engine, that is for your comfort level. We are using Unity 3D. We are using in our office because the learning curve is much more easier, and community is very huge in globally as well, and in local context. The Unity 3D community is very much huge. There are a lot of resources. So you will get a lot of help in Unity 3D.
Can I get your email address, please, or I can collect it later on?
You can collect it later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Chua.
Okay.
So if I want to create a VR application, what are the basic requirements do I need actually?
Okay. So first thing you need to ask yourself, how do you see yourself, as a programmer or as an artist, or like as a graphic designer? Which one?
Programmer.
Programmer. So if you want to develop a VR application, the first thing I suggest you to work with Unity 3D, not in terms of VR, but get used to the whole Unity 3D workflow. Because when you are used to the Unity 3D workflow, you will definitely gonna use any kind of VR SDK or something like that. But if you are not aware of the Unity 3D workflow as a whole, you might face some difficulties if you go directly into VR. So I would suggest, firstly, as there are a lot of resources in Unity 3D website, you go over there, check them out. You can have their own game template there. In the learning session, there are a lot of resources. So get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty, develop a few games or like few apps, and like one or two, then get yourself like know how. Then you can easily use any sort of VR devices. That was very, I would say the working pipeline is very simple, to be honest.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone? Anyone else who wants to learn or work with VR? Okay, over there. Hello.
Can you talk about the local community in Bangladesh that is there for developers, for artists that want to learn things about VR? What kind of communities are available?
Okay. So in terms of augmented reality or virtual reality or game development, in our community is not that huge as of yet, but it is growing day by day. It is growing day by day, and if you talk only about VR, the main challenges the local community face about the hardware, because the hardware devices are not available in local market, so they have to collect it from someone else or buy order online. So it is very much hassle. So if the hardware devices are available to them, I think that the community will grow very rapidly, because I can see a lot of guys, a lot of youngsters that study in different university wants to work in virtual reality or augmented reality, but because of the hardware devices, they don't know how to start. So that's the main challenges, that's the main issue. Even as a company, we are even when we try to expand our team, we don't find very much experience, or like like 3 or 4 years experience guy who have a very good portfolio with AR and VR. So we are trying to create a human resources as well in with different training program and everything in-house, and with other companies with in joint venture with collaboration. So we are trying to make human resources based on augmented reality and virtual reality and game development in terms of developer and artists as well. Okay. Anyone?
My question was, she asked that to start a VR app as a programmer, but I want to know about the graphic designer. If I want to see myself as a graphic designer for VR apps,
Okay.
then what are the basic needs?
So do you, what is your definition about graphic designing? I have to understand that first. What do you know about graphic designing?
Maybe it can be like animation stuffs
Okay.
or like that stuffs. So it might
Uh,
be that.
Okay. So if you want to work with the level designing in terms of graphic, you know, the UI, UX and everything and stuff. So there are a whole lot different grammar in terms of virtual reality and augmented reality in terms of UI, UX. Because if you follow the traditional UI, UX protocol, that won't be helpful in virtual reality or augmented reality. Because I tell you why. Because if you just follow the traditional UI, UX like for mobile application or web design stuff, because in virtuality the environment is 360 degree, right? And in desktop or laptop or mobile, the screen is flat. There's a flat screen. So if you follow that protocol, it won't help you that much. So you need to understand how the virtuality environment, the 360 degree environment works. So based on that, I will suggest you that you can come and talk to me later after the session. I can help you with some references, links, where you can have that knowledge, how to at least get start, how the UI, UX, the level designing works in virtual reality and augmented reality. And also in augmented reality, always keep in mind, though it's the VR session, but I'll give you a tip for augmented reality as well. When you design an augmented reality app, try not to use so many buttons or like a text field or like label in the AR screen. It is forbidden. It is totally forbidden because the user, the consumer have to see the whole camera. So if you put too many buttons in the whole screen, they won't be able to have the best experience in augmented reality. So you can, there are different techniques, like you have multiple buttons, but you can use one button where when user tap on that button, it will expand the other buttons. So you can have that kind of trick. So keep that in mind. In augmented reality, don't use so many buttons in AR screen. And virtual reality, try to make it like, don't try to give it the user the feel that it is like flat 2D design or screen, but because in virtual reality, it has to look like 3D. You are looking at a 3D screen, 3D login system. You can have a look in our stall. We are showcasing the BMW VR, where you can see the login screen and the credential, how user input the login system, and salesperson login, the admin login, the customer login. So you will have a basic idea how you can get started, and I can give you some references to get yourself started. Thank you.
So much, sir. I have another question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, as a programmer, if I want to start creating a VR app,
Okay.
so do I need a specific programming language? Do I need to expertise myself on a specific programming language, or it will be a random?
Basically, in Bangladesh, most people are using Unity 3D. So if you work in Unity 3D, you need to have a like very good knowledge in C#. And not only that, I would suggest you focus on algorithm rather than focusing on a specific scripting programming language, because we all know about the object-oriented programming, right? We all know about the object-oriented programming. As you know, you might, if you go with like watch different keynotes of Unity 3D, you will see they are introducing the data-oriented technology stack that is called DOTS from Unity 2020. So very soon, there every single physics components, animation, UI, UX, all will be based on DOTS technology stack. So I would suggest you, if you work with Unity 3D, rather than focusing on specific programming language, you focus on algorithm, because programming language is all the same. If you know one language, you will definitely get yourself started with another one. It's not an issue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone? Anyone else? Anyone here who is a representative from a company or something like that who wants to know how they can use the VR system in their company for business purposes?
I want to ask you that there are some third-party library like Spark Air and Vuforia
Right.
for integrating augmented reality. But is there any way that without any using library, I can use implement AR in with Unity?
Yes, definitely you can. There are some image recognition library, machine learning library like OpenCV, and you can use those things. But it will be very much if you are very good at algorithm and programming and you like data structure, then you can easily get yourself hands dirty with those kind of library. But if you want to learn and have yourself have a go like with augmented reality, then I would suggest you go with like Vuforia or like AR Core and AR Kit. And if you work with Unity 3D, you can definitely try their AR Foundation. That is AR Foundation is like a wrapper that wraps the whole AR Core and AR Kit, and you will get all the functionalities of AR Core and AR Kit in AR Foundation. Okay. 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 Anyone else? Okay. So I would like to end my presentation with a video. The things we have been working with augmented reality and virtual reality as well as game development. I would request you to attention. Sorry about the sound system and everything. You can at least watch. We are working this application for BMW, yeah, for Executive Motors to be precise. These are our in-house application for real estate, furniture companies, and automobile industries. And this one we use like for anatomy for medical tech industry, for students as well as researchers. We have given this application to Berger Paints Bangladesh Limited to try out their color palettes and everything for their customers, to showcase their colors. The matte color, the gloss color, the illusions and everything. And this is the Executive Motors showroom for the BMW app. And this is the VR version of the anatomy that we are developing. This is an exam simulation for medical students, how to test a blood. And these are some of our in-house mobile game. This one is coming very soon, later this year. This is one of our like hobby project, the VR game for a space shooter, and this one is also the roller coaster, space roller coaster. We have done this project. It's a basically Game of Thrones VR experience. We have developed this one for an event to give the Game of Thrones audience the experience about the Castle Black and Winterfell, how it will feel in VR. This is our latest game, The Defender. We are planning to publish it in Oculus Quest store next year. We are showcasing the pre-alpha stage of this game in our stall. So those who are interested, I would request you to come over our stall and experience our games and applications. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your truly inspiring session. And I'd like to request our Honorable Shahadat Hussain Riyad, sir, convener VR Conference, Director, Bangladesh Innovation Forum, to please come up on stage and present our honorary speaker with a token of appreciation. I would like to request our honorary speaker to please come up on stage